Deltarune's new chapters have finally released, and they completely blew me away. And with them came a variety of questions that are still left unanswered. But there's one in particular that has been on my mind for the past couple of days, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. See, Chapter 4 has completely changed the direction and tone for the future of Deltarune completely, as it has fully cemented the idea that destiny cannot be changed. These chapters left me completely heartbroken, because if fate cannot be defied, then that means that one of Deltarune's best characters is doomed. If you've played these chapters, then you can probably guess who I'm referring to. I am, of course, talking about Berdly. See, some may say that Berdly is the personification of Reddit pseudo-intellectualism, but to me, Berdly is much more than an arrogant bird who makes cringy gamer quips. Berdly is an undisputed Chad. Dare I say, the GOAT of our generation. And you might not like it, but this is what peak male performance looks like. At this point, you are all aware of the Snowgrave route, where if the player chooses to do so during the second chapter of the game, a completely different path can be triggered. One full of violent events, culminating in the death of Berdly by the hands of his childhood friend Noel, with the Snowgrave route grimly ending with Berdly lying motionless over a desk, completely unresponsive. So, before delving into what the future may hold for this character, we have to state something essential. It is fucking over for Berdly. Not because he died, but because in Chapter 4, he somehow managed to fumble Susie, Noel, and Kris technically, after asking them out on a date to the festival. Berdly fumbled 2 bad bitches, technically 3, for being 5'1" and no other reason whatsoever. Hometown has fallen and billions must die. Berdly is a character who is doomed by the narrative. If there's anything I learned from playing Chapter 4 is that, because destiny cannot be changed, then Berdly shall remain maidenless for all eternity. We see society constantly punching him down for being a gamer. He got rejected by his 2 beautiful gamer concubines, he gets brutally mocked by the fun gang, and the fanbase keeps hating on him, calling him obnoxious, cringy, and a chud. But, let's be for real, would any of you be saying this if he was a 6'2" slayer with a positive Kento tilt and hunter eyes? You'd say he has a great personality. See, we live in a vanity-filled society. You people only dislike Berdly, not because of his nerdly arrogance or for not wanting to go along with Chris's 0.4 GPA activities, but because of his looks. When ralsei hits on you, that's Riz. But when Berdly asks to put his Minecraft bed next to yours, you call human resources. This double standard has to stop. I believe Berdly can be saved. In fact, the entirety of the Snowgrave route could have been avoided altogether if Berdly had taken the black pill. And even after his death, I think there's still hope, because gamers don't die, they respawn. Part 1. Jim. Berdly is a very relatable character. Men want him, fish fear him, and women be shopping. But people don't realize it simply because his physiognomy is that of the ultimate gamer. Pale skin to properly absorb the photons from his monitor, gamer neck to see the enemy across the map in Fortnite, and carpal tunnel syndrome to properly dominate clips in Smash and CSGO. However, normal people don't have the eyes to see this is what an alpha looks like. Gamers like us don't get respect. So the first step to saving Berdly is taking his bony ass to the gym. Let's be honest for a second. Do you think Noel and Susie would have dumped him if he could bench 100 kilo? Yeah, they still would have. But it's a nice cope. The gym is initially an introvert's worst nightmare. Trust me, I've been there before. Obviously not training, but disguised as the seat for the beefy man using the leg stretcher machine. Your first time at the gym is definitely a horrifying experience. You get a gym membership and the first thing you see are men doing steroids and old-ass people walking butt-ass naked in the showers. You have no routine, so you cluelessly walk around the machines without knowing what to do. It's scary, especially for scrawny dudes like Berdly and me who have a yee-yee-ass hairline. But don't worry. The gym is actually a place where even the biggest, scariest dudes of them all felt intimidated to enter at some point. See, I believe that humans and monsters were made to move around and have fun, not gooning on Reddit for 36 hours every day. Exercising regularly would do wonders for my chud son's mental health and physique. Your parents were right. It really is that damn phone. I would suggest Berdly to come up with a routine before entering the gym. See, the way the gym works is that your body is divided in different muscle groups, which need to be targeted multiple times in a week in order to see gains. Since Berdly is just starting out, I'd recommend him strength building exercises like squats and push-ups, and maybe after a month, after he gets more strength, he could focus on having an upper-lower body split, or push-pull legs, which is a little more intense, but pretty effective. When gamers start going to the gym, they get double the XP. We call this phenomenon newbie gains, which, if optimized properly, could turn Berdly into a Greek statue. You might think it's over for Berdly, but he has crazy forearm genetics. Like, fucking look! Part 2. Diet. If Berdly wants to ascend, his diet matters a lot. Even if you do everything right at the gym, if you're not fueling your body properly, you're chronically fatiguing it for no reason, which means your muscles don't have the resources to grow. I feel that Twitter and Tumblr have altered people's perception of what dieting is. I do not mean Berdly should fucking starve to death. In fact, he needs to eat more. Because look at him! He's built like a pinhead. Berdly needs to bulk. I seriously believe a bulk could save him. Considering his low body fat percentage, he might even be underweight. And trust me, that shit sucks. When you bulk, you gotta eat as much as you can, especially meat, and double the amount of carbs. Your body uses carbs to turn protein into muscle because chemistry, I guess. Eating a lot is a cheat code for the gym, and if you do it correctly, you can suddenly lift weights you couldn't lift before and your muscles start getting full. I think Berdly should also start taking protein and creatine supplements. To build muscle, you need crazy amounts of protein as well as water. So combining these two with the proper hydration and the added newbie gains XP bonus, it will all make him a beast. Now, eating clean is not only beneficial for the gym, but it can also change your face. Processed foods contain a lot of harmful chemicals and hormones, or crazy amounts of salt and sugar that can cause severe acne and bloating. I personally would recommend Berdly to potassium max and eat a banana after waking up, which debloats a puffy morning face. Eat more oranges, because citrus produces collagen and keeps your skin looking brighter, and blueberries and blackberries for antioxidant protection and clearer skin. You are what you eat, which means I'm ass. I have no way of segueing into the next segment. Part 3. Fashion. Berdly now has a really muscular body because he kept working out consistently while eating a lot of healthy foods. His skin is now clear, and strange incels online are making edits of him, which means it is now socially acceptable for him to wear an unwashed pair of shorts and one of those Eat Sleep Fortnite Repeat shirts while out in public. Yeah, maybe not. See, as a gamer myself, we sometimes put convenience over style. That's why I always wear the same stinky sweater and no pants in every video. But you can't unsee that. Clothes can tell you a lot about a person and their beliefs, their personality or interests. That's why I think it's important to treat yourself and build a nice wardrobe that not only represents you, but fits you. Looksmax Berdly is at a point in his life where he can rebrand into any path he wants. There's many niche micro trends on TikTok or course that could do wonders for him. I personally think Berdly would look killer wearing Y2K streetwear, which marries the worlds of comfort and baggy clothes with retro nostalgia from Berdly's childhood. Maybe because he's now a chat light, he could become a player and go for the Starboy route. This style is fashionable, classic and masculine, that screams Italian summer with a man who will take you and his side girl to the best motorcycle accident of your lives. Maybe Berdly could change the frame of his glasses into something more round and throw in a sweater on top of his button up to become a soft boy. I personally really like this idea and drew Berdly like this like 3 years ago. But maybe the most fitting one, considering his canon personality, would be loosercore. Despite what the name may imply, these clothes fuck. These are stylized outfits based on the wardrobe of an introverted person, which means Berdly only needs a cool pair of pants to rock any of these outfits. So now, this is the new and improved Berdly, the Greek ideal of excellence. He is handsome, muscular and charismatic. He has successfully changed everything about himself, which means everyone must love him now, right? Okay, let me be real for a second. See, while trying to change for other people, Berdly completely lost himself in the process. Everything that made Berdly unique and lovable was erased simply to fit a made-up standard of what beauty should look like. I believe comparison is the thief of joy, and spending your precious free time in social media spaces full of negativity built around mocking other people for the way they look is the fastest way to poison your soul. Berdly got too wrapped up in the harmful body and masculinity expectations strangers on the internet had about his looks. So he fell into a deep rabbit hole where he was never satisfied with himself. Spaces like this convince you that you are never skinny enough, never muscular enough, never handsome enough. You create insecurities where there are none. When you dislike your body for being too scrawny and get muscular, you start feeling insecure about the shape of your face. And when you lose body fat and it changes, you start hating your hair. So you cut it and dye its color. You then move on to your eyebrows, lips, nose, jawline, until the face you see in the mirror is no longer yours. Yet, despite of how much you've changed and how far you've come, you still don't feel worthy of love. But regardless of how he looks and how he may act at times, I love Berdly. Because Berdly has something a lot of us don't have. He is not afraid of being himself. Berdly doesn't need to have the most muscular frame or be the tallest in the classroom, because regardless of how he feels about the small things that make him insecure, I still think he is perfect just the way he is. I believe life is too short to constantly compare yourself to others and live in disgust about things you cannot change. If other people are too cold to see how gem you are, then so be it. Because when I look at Berdly, I don't see a 0 out of 10. I see an academic weapon, I see a warrior full of gamer rage, and most importantly, I see someone who doesn't live in fear of being himself.
If you like this video, please like and subscribe.